Guys, Brant is incredibly broken. I mean, this man does everything. Heal, damage, buffs, fun to play. He's a major account upgrade now and definitely in the future, so let's build him. This video will only cover materials, weapons, echoes, Teamcomps, and sequence node value. So here are the materials. To max him out, everything is pre-farmable. Alright, let's start with his weapon options. So Brant is a sword user, with his signature having a ton of value. Mostly because of the ER percent it gives, it's almost required to max his passive talent, otherwise you're reliant on godly echo substats. So anything else will be a bit of a downgrade, but still usable. The only other ER substat weapon is Overture, making it his general second best option and free to play best in slot. You can get this from any banner, but if you're unlucky, then Emerald of Genesis will be decent. Red Spring is also usable because it buffs basic attacks, which is a majority of Brant's damage. Or if you have nothing else, then I guess use the 3-star Sword of Wager. Yeah, we don't really have a lot of ER options. Now echo sets. So there really are many sets he can use, but TLDR Tiebreaking Courage is what he's meant to use. That being said, he will usually be your healer, so the healing set can work to buff your DPS, but Brant's personal damage won't be great. You can give him Moonlit, maybe if you have the healing set on Spectro over, for example. You can even use the Fusion set for damage if you're struggling to get that 250% ER for Tidebreaking. It really matters on what you want from him, because he either does more damage or buffs your DPS, up to you. However, his main stats and substats will be the same. Across 43311, he wants crit rate or damage, energy regen, or fusion damage if you can hit 280% without it, then double attack percent. His healing scales off of his ER. Substat priority is first 280% ER, then crit rate, crit damage, with basic damage bonus being the last useful stat, because at this point attack just has terrible diminishing returns for his kit. But we're moving on to Teamcomps. So like I said, his playstyle is healer support, because his outro does buff fusion and skill damage, making him usable in a lot of different Teamcomps. So some fusion damage dealers that work really well is Changli, or in the future Lupa, who will most likely be fusion. Same with Scar, but who knows, I mean he's way out in the future. For skill damage characters, Carlotta and Jin C get value from him, and if you want a main DPS Brant, then any basic buffer like Roadchar or Sanhua will be best, with Shorekeeper or Verena. Shishia is also amazing as well. The main issue is really if you want to run a double healer, because building him for damage is really best, even though his healing is enough alone. So right now you get these weird double healer or double buffer comps, but trust me, he's really versatile and valuable. So it's really all about how you want to rotate the teams. Alright, and lastly, let's talk about how useful and valuable Brant's sequence nodes are. So S1 allows his full forte skill to stun enemies, and casting intro or each flip after a mid-air attack increases Brant's damage by 20%, up to 3 stacks or 60%. Now since he flips multiple times in his rotations, this is just a major damage boost, and I'd argue his best node. S2 gives him 30% crit rate after a mid-air attack, which is already broken, but it also adds another ability to his outro. So when the on-field resonator skills, Brant launches a nuke from off-field. It's extra damage, but it's nothing too crazy. S3 is just 42% increase in the damage multiplier for his forte, it's eh. S4 is more healing and shield strength, this is by far his worst node. S5 gives Brant 15% basic attack damage, which is nice I guess, but for an S5, it's not really worth it at all. Then finally S6, his mid-air attack damage multiplier increases by 30%, and casting his forte causes a secondary blast equal to 30% of the original considered basic damage. So surprisingly, no nodes change him really at all, they're all just straight damage increases. I guess they incentivize you to build more fusion damage, more of a DPS Brant, but he'll be completely broken at S0 anyways.